hair's all frizzy. His hair's all frizzy. Hey, Julie. Thank you for the badge, Connie. I appreciate that. Hey, girl. Thank you for the likes. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Sorry, guys, I'm parched. Hi, Connie. Sorry about that. I was parched. It is so hot here, and I had to take my dog out. Florida, welcome. You've been here before, right, Connie? You look familiar. Or am I wrong? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Thank you for all the likes, Julie. Yes, okay, that's what I thought. Are you the one that's by Tampa? Or am I thinking somebody else? Sorry, I used to take notes, and now I'm just all over the place. No, okay. Different person then, sorry. Sorry, guys, I got something on my... Sorry about that. Something on my screen, and I don't know what I just did. There we go. Oh, Tallahassee. Okay, awesome. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Sorry, guys. I'm just a mess tonight. It's just so hot and dry. Although it's been, yeah. Anyway. North Carolina, do you have a name? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. I just love it. Julie, do you just sit on the butt? Like, just sit. Just hold down the screen. Jim, welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, what do I got on my arm? My supper, somehow. Oh, I'm just a hot mess tonight. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Yes, tape. Oh, I appreciate you, though. I really do. Well, no, it must be on my phone. I just keep seeing things, and I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, well, welcome tonight, guys. I'm just going to let a few more people... Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to let a few more people hop on. I apologize. I am so late. Every time I'm ready to go live, my dog's like, I gotta go. I cannot wait until I can move back into a house and I could just let him out the door. He's driving me crazy. And, you know, it was one thing when it was my husband and I, and we could take turns taking him out, and now it's just me. So, and I live on a second floor apartment, so it's like you gotta walk him all the way outside. And, oh, it's just a pain. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Okay. Well, I'm already running late, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And hopefully some people will jump on. That seems like that's when it rolls. So if you're not familiar, if you're not new here, I apologize that you have to hear this a million times. Okay. Is it Michelle from Florida? Did I get that right? And what part of Florida? Just curious. Sarah from Illinois, welcome. Yes, okay, awesome. I hate it when I slaughter people's names, that's why. Mr. Nice Guy, thank you for the follow. Clearwater, okay. Mr. Nice Guy, do you have a name and where you're from? So, like I said, if you missed it, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota, welcome. I started my TikTok a year ago. Sorry, I totally drew a blank. I started my TikTok a year ago in March because, unfortunately, on September 14th of 2023, for TikTok purposes, my husband unalived himself. And that's when I discovered that I had abilities to talk to my guides. And they slowly breadcrumbed me to my purpose, which is to be here with all of you lovely people. And so my purpose now in life is to help others through their loss and trauma and to uplift others. And so that's why I'm here. I only have 2 rules. The first one is we talk absolutely no politics here. That's just not at all what my page is about. It's not against one side or the other. We just don't. There's just other pages for that, and my page just isn't the place. And the second one is I always just ask that you be kind. And I don't think that's too much to ask, to just be kind. And I always like to say that I am on my journey of life where I am, and you are on your journey of life where you are, and none of us are ever going to agree on everything. And so we agree to disagree here. So if you can't agree to disagree, then just hop off and keep scrolling, please. We do talk about sensitive content here, so please don't report me. If it's too much for you, same thing. Just keep scrolling. So when I go live, my guides give me the topic. So tonight's topic is, it says when life throws you a curveball in my description, because it only gives you so many characters. But I have when something bad happens, how do we respond? Let's see, Nikki Green 553, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And this is something that I talked about 6 or 7 months ago, so I'm kind of rotating a little bit, but I think I have a lot of new people here. So you have 3 choices, right? Sorry, I swallowed wrong. So when something bad in life happens, we have 3 choices. Well, I added a fourth one today, and you'll see why. Hi, new to you from Kansas. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And thank you for the badge. I appreciate that so much. So the first one is we can let it define you. So something bad happens, you can let it define you. The second one is you can let it destroy you. Or the third one is, or you can let it strengthen you. And I added a fourth one today. And that is, you can have faith, right? Sometimes we forget about that one. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. I forgot to mention we are not shy here, so pipe in anytime. Last night they were filtering about every third, I think, comment, so I apologize. I have no filters on. I don't know why they do that. I have no control over it, so if you try to talk to me and I don't respond, that's why. And if it's really important, you can message me after, and I can get with you. Real quick before I get started, does anybody have a loss or anything they need to talk about too? This is a great community to bring that up. If you've lost somebody and you're having a hard time dealing with it, or you just need to talk about it or vent about it, this is what my community is for. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep rattling on what my guide give me. And like I said, just pipe in anytime. My page is your page. So what do I mean by define you? And I wrote down letting it become who you are, using it as an excuse not to do something, right? And so how many times does something bad happen to us and we're like, well, that happened to me, so I'm just gonna, I'm just not gonna do something, right? And so that's what I kind of mean by letting it define you. Let it become the person who you are, right? So the second one was let it destroy you. So what does it mean to let it destroy you? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Thank you for the hearts. I'm sure it's probably you, Julie. Giving up, right? When I lost my husband, I could have easily I could have just checked out, right? And I was going to. I was ready to. And I have to be careful how I say this. I was ready to not be on this planet anymore. And because I didn't know how. If you're new to my story, we were together for 32 years. We were only apart for 2 weeks in that 32 years. And I had been with my husband since I was 16 years old. I did not know an adult life without my husband. And so I literally didn't know how to breathe. I didn't know how to function. I didn't know how to do anything, right? Christina, thank you for the follow. Where are you from? If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. And so, in the beginning, and it's not just been the beginning, I'm going to be flat out honest with you. There's been a lot of times where, it's been hard and I've thought about checking out. And I actually almost checked out a couple months ago. Most people don't know this. And if it wasn't for a really good friend who messaged me at the right time, divine timing, and it wasn't so much that I couldn't deal with the loss anymore. for me at that point, it's what most people don't realize is that I found my husband. I don't like to talk about this, but so my husband hung himself. I have to be careful because I don't know what's going to get me kicked off. And I found him. And, I have to live with that image for the rest of my life. And I never know when I close my eyes of when that image is going to appear. And one day it was just too much, right? Western New York. Thanks. You're welcome. Sorry, guys. The chat's starting to go. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Peggy. I appreciate that. It was very hard. Thank you for the badge, too. And thank you for all that, guys. I appreciate you so much. And so, it was hard, and like I said, I just wanted it to stop. I wanted to go away, right? Thank you for the rose, Joy. I appreciate that. And I know now that, that was dumb of me to even think about that. But it's just, there again, life throws things at you, right? And so like I said, you can let it define you, you can let it destroy you, or you can let it strengthen you. And I made the choice that day that I'm going to let it strengthen me, right? I'm going to turn my pain into power. And I'm going to help other people. And hold on, I don't want my dog to knock my tripod. Lay down, buddy. Thank you. And so letting it destroy you, giving up, stop living, right? I could have chose to say I'm not getting out of this bed, although I couldn't have because I wouldn't have had a roof over my head. And I'm sorry that I'm chuckling, but that's the reality of it, right? Thank you, Joy. I appreciate that so much. And so what does it look like to let it strengthen you, right? Like I just said, turning your pain into power, right? Taking all of the energy that you would put into being depressed or wanting to check out or wanting to lay in this bed and give up and say, no, I'm bigger and I'm stronger, right? And I'm not going to let this define me. I'm not going to let this break me. And you turn it into strength. And for me, I get online and I try to help people, right? Even on days where I struggle, I'm still here. I get on here and I try, and that's all I can do. And so that's what I mean by, turning it into a strength. And then the fourth one that I added is having faith, right? Faith is so hard. And I will tell you, so for me, I've always had faith. I didn't grow up in any church. My mom always just taught us it's what you believe, right? And then I met my husband and he grew up in the church. And so I did the whole church thing for 30 years. And I can honestly tell you, so if you're not aware, I had a full-term stillborn in 1994. And that's when my faith really became the strongest, I would say. That's when my faith I would define my faith as the strongest. Yes, I found my purpose. Exactly. And so my faith has always been strong until I lost my husband. And I swore when I started this channel and I started this journey of my purpose, I told my guys, I said, I will only be 100% authentic, right? I'm going to get on here. Thank you for the badge, Joy. I appreciate that. I agree, Joy, and you're doing wonderful. I commend you. I am who I am, right? I am 100% Renee now. I don't pretend to be anybody that I'm not. And, I struggled. This has been the hardest almost 2 years of my entire life. I am almost 51 years old, and it's been the hardest 2 years of my entire life. I'm not going to lie, right? May I ask, do you have children? Yes, I do. I have 3 children and one really, really good friend that I've had for 21 years, and that's what's kept me going. And actually, the day that I was ready to check out, my oldest daughter, I have a broken door now because my oldest daughter broke through my door. So, I do. I do. And I count all of you as my support too, because, I can have, one of those days where I have moments through my day, right? Like I always say, it's okay to have a moment. It's okay to not always be okay. And I can get on here and you guys just brighten my day, right? So I think it works both ways, right? Maybe I'm helping somebody and I pray that I am, but you guys are helping me at the same time, right? Like I said, but you guys are helping me at the same time, right? Like I said, they use my life, I'm the guinea pig here, and I'm okay with that if it helps somebody, right? But at the same time, all of this stuff I've been learning all this stuff for the last 2 years myself, right? Because they give it to me and I get on here and I share with you, and I'm learning right along with you. Yes, I am here for a reason, and I truly believe that. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent there. So faith for me has been a big struggle this year, right? And I have to share. So I think it was last week, I was like, my faith is waning. I just need something, right? I'm talking to my guides, my team, my spirit team, and I'm just like, in the divine, I'm like, I just throw me a bone, right? Because I just keep feeling like I'm getting socked in the gut, right? At every turn. And, okay. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody. Jerry, thank you for the follow. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. And so, I lost my train of thought. So last week I was like, just throw me a bone here, right? Like at every turn I felt like I was just I just need a bone. And this week, things are happening because I decided finally, the control freak, because I'm a control freak, y'all. Faith is extremely hard for me because I am an A personality and I like to control everything. I'll tell you that right now. And there's always a lesson. Exactly. And that's all, I believe that's all Earth is. We're just in one big lesson, right? Just a big school of lessons. And this week, it's like, things are slowly, right? All of these little tiny blessings are coming, right? And so that's renewed my faith again. Not that I lost it, but I have to tell you, it was waning, I dropped that. Julie, thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate that. Same. Well, just know that we're all here with you. Joy. I have a wonderful community of people, and whether it's the same people every week or different people every week, I believe the right people who are supposed to be here at the right time are here, and you have so much support here. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Wow, we are on tonight again. Cool beans. Hi, Veronica. How are you? You mirror my feelings. And I think a lot of it just has to do with grief, right? Grief is that process of keeping the faith. And there was something that I heard tonight too that I wanted to share. So I don't know if you guys know about the Chrisleys. My husband and I used to watch their show. They had went to jail, whatever, and they just got their sentence taken care of. They were released. I can't remember what it's called. I think Trump did something, but anyway, the point of the message is that I was watching their daughter's podcast earlier, and her parents were on there, and they were talking about their journey and through all of it. And that's what made me think of I wanted to talk about faith tonight because her dad said that he never lost his faith, but at the same time, when he first went to prison, he was like, God, why did you forsake me? Right? And I totally, at that moment, I could relate, right? Aw, thank you, Daniel. I could relate to that because, in the beginning when I lost my husband, it was like I've always been a good person my whole life. Why would you do this to me? My whole life imploded of 32 years. And why would you take my whole life when I've done nothing but be a good person my whole life, right? And try to do good and have faith and so that really hit home with me a lot. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. So, okay, so I'm going to keep going. Let's see. So like I said, just remember, when life throws you lemons, make lemonade, right? Turn that pain into power. How can you, one of the biggest lessons, and I think it goes along with this, is change your perspective, right? Veronica, did I miss one of your, I've said the same always, so why me, right? And Veronica, I think I missed something you said. Then again, who am I to judge? Was there another comment with that? Enjoy. One of the biggest lessons that I learned this year and a half, 2 years for me, was when I learned to stop saying, why did this happen to me? It didn't happen to me. It happened for me. And I know as a mother and as a widowed wife, to look at it from a different perspective like that is a struggle. But there is a reason why this happened for you. I promise you. And I know you might not see that right now. I'm sorry, Veronica. They're doing comments again. Perspective is important, exactly. Annabelle, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And in my case, this happened for me because it was supposed to happen. It had to happen exactly how it happened in order for me to be here to hopefully help somebody. And hopefully somebody will never, ever have to go through what I went through, right? And if, I can put out a morning video and, it changes somebody's day and it makes their day better or whatever it may be, then it made every single thing that I went through in the last 2 years worthwhile. Everything. So, like I said, I know right now it's hard to see that perspective change, Joy, but it will come because I truly believe for those that don't know, I channeled her son yesterday, and he is a wonderful, wonderful soul. And you are going to continue his legacy through you. His legacy will continue through you. I always wondered, my son was special needs student. He struggled always and bullied always. But his legacy will continue through you. And think of the people that maybe you might not have helped. You might not have taken the journey that you're on right now going back. You might never have done that. So think of the lives that you are going to touch right now. And I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. And I wish I had an answer for that of why, but why am I a teacher and I'll never know the answer, maybe in the afterlife. Yes, and that has a lot to do with things too. But what I'm saying is you going back to teaching and touching others' lives because you feel connected to where you are because of your son. Think of the lives that you would maybe have never touched had you not lost Daniel, right? Never touched had you not lost Daniel, right? And so, like I said, perspective is huge, and I know it's hard right now. You will find out, maybe not. I think you find out what you're meant to find out, and it comes when you're meant to find it out. Does that make sense? Let's see. So I kind of already talked about my story a little bit. Looking past the pain, exactly, and that's where I said turning that pain into power, right? And not letting it define you or destroy you. And that's hard. It is very, very hard. So we talked about that, and my guides wanted me to talk a little bit about, and this is something that I have not shared very often. I've brought it up just briefly, but my husband did not leave me in a great spot financially, right? My whole world imploded. They took my car, they took my camper. I had nothing. I had nothing left, you know. And, you know, I had to basically start over at 50 years old. I'm 50 years old and I had nothing but an apartment and my kids and my friends. And, you know, I think if you're meant to know, Veronica, you'll know, and it will come when you're meant to know it. Sometimes we're not meant to know things until certain times, right? It's all in divine timing. That's what I believe. And so the reason I'm sharing this is, you know, it looked really, really daunting when he left me. You know, when he first left, it was a mess because I had a credit union in Idaho and I had a credit union in South Dakota, and everything was in his name. And, you know, this title was in his name, and this was this and this was that. And it was like so daunting and so overwhelming that I'm like, I didn't even know what or how to start, where to begin, to even untangle the wicked weave that we had weaved together and now he left me with, right? And you know what's funny is, and not really funny, but in the last 2 years, it's all slowly kind of worked its way out. And I really didn't have to do anything. It worked itself out, for the most part. I do think the sensitive, the empathetic, we are given more than we ask for. Yes, because I truly believe as empaths, I believe we have a greater mission here. I truly believe that. It helps us help others. Yes, exactly. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. So the last thing that my guide gave me was just breathe and ask for help. You have a whole divine team, right? But you have free will also. Aw, thank you, Joy. I appreciate that. It's just hard. Very, very hard, especially what I've been going through is school-wise. But you know what, Veronica? You got to change that perspective, girl. Because, like I said the other night, it's all in divine timing, and everything will fall into place when it's meant to fall into place. So you have to go, okay, instead of why is this happening to me? This is happening for me, right? And so who knows what's going to come down the road that's going to help you, and then it's all going to click one day and you're going to go, wow, that's why that happened, and that's why that happened, right? Trust me, it will, because it's almost been 2 years and there's already things that's like, okay, that's why that happened. Yep, I get it now, right? And not everything, I don't know the answers to everything, but a lot of things are falling into place now that make a lot of sense. Oh, I hope so, Joy. I really do. I hope so. Aw, thank you, Joy. I appreciate you so very much. And your son just loves you. Your little boobala. Yeah. He's the sweetest. It's crazy how I get their personalities right away, too. Please excuse me if I'm being rude, though, to see you understand why your husband died and why he left. I know now he had to leave. He tells me that all the time. When I'm struggling, I literally hear him say, you know, I had to leave. He had to leave. He was only meant to be in my life, which I call a book, not a chapter, because 32 years to me is a book, not a chapter. He was meant to be in my life to put me in order to fulfill this purpose. Everything I went through with him, even the day that I will have in my head for the rest of my life that I struggle with sometimes, I had to go through that exactly how I went through that. Because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be where I need to be for my purpose. Does that make sense? He's your everything. And he's still your everything. He's right there with you. He's just not there physically, but he is there with you. I guarantee you. I feel Danny had time to teach me as well. Exactly. Exactly. He was put in your life for the amount of time that he was put there to teach you the lessons that he was to teach you, right? It's okay, Veronica. You're fine. You don't ever have to be sorry. So thank you for the badge, Daniel. I appreciate that and all the likes. And so, like I was saying, so we do have free will, right? So God, source, universe, creator, whatever it is that you believe, give us free will. So we do have to ask our spirit team for assistance. There are certain things that they can only do. And so if you need them to guide you, you know, if you got something you're going through in your day and you're struggling, just say, hey, I need help. My angels, my guides, you know, please step in today and help me. They are there to help you and guide you. Absolutely. Okay. So that's pretty much everything that I had from them tonight. Does anybody else have anything else before I have to put my little plugs in? While I'm waiting to see if anybody else has anything. So if you're new here, if you're not, I apologize for the repeat. I do have a YouTube channel. So if you're not familiar with my YouTube channel, it's under Scorpio Medium. And if you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you went over there and subscribed. Oh, you know, it's funny because last weekend I was just saying to my daughter, because my daughter stopped by one night to get some ribbon or something. And I said to my daughter, I said, I never in a million years would have pictured myself saying, I love going to the gym. I can't wait. I wish I could go to the gym more. I really do. It's just right now financially it's hard because the gym's on the other side of town and I have to conserve my gas to go to work. But I love going to the gym now. And it's crazy because during some of those really, really tough months in the very beginning, to be able to go to the gym just helped me clear my head. Like I don't even know how to explain that. Maybe it's endorphins. I don't know. That's not my wheelhouse, you know. So I really don't know, but it just really helps me, you know. And I don't always want to go, but you know, I also know that I have goals and there's things that I want to do in life, and I also know that, you know, it's good for me to go. And so, you know, I get up and I go. And sometimes it's hard because we've been trained to make everybody else in our life a priority instead of us, right? And so one of my goals here is to teach people, fill up your cup first. It's okay. It is okay to fill up your cup first. It's okay to make yourself a priority. It is okay. And if anybody says any different, see ya. Bye. It's okay, right? Well, Veronica, like I said, that's, to me, it's a choice. You're not choosing to grieve her, is my guess. So you need to make that conscious choice to grieve her, and you know. And that's hard for people because people don't want to feel. You have to feel to heal. And I've said it a million times. You don't walk through the storm, you can't heal the storm. You have to walk through that storm. And that's what's so hard for people. You know, and the thing is if, you know, emotions come, people, you know, distract themselves so they don't have emotion. But you have to feel that. You have to feel to heal. There's no way around it. It's just, it is what it is. Eating chocolate's your piece. Mine too. I like to do that too, for sure. You need healthy choices. Yes. You know, and for me, I lost like 50 pounds when my husband passed. And like I told my kids, unfortunately, I didn't do it a healthy way, right? I didn't eat for 2 months after my husband passed because I just had no appetite. I couldn't eat. And so I lost all this weight. And like I told my kids, you know, I know that it wasn't a healthy way to do it. But I tell you, I feel 100% better than I did 2 years ago before my husband passed, and 50 pounds, 60 pounds heavier. I feel 100 times better, right? And that's also given me motivation to go to the gym, because now I feel better, I feel healthier, I have the energy that I didn't have before to get up to go. So that does help. No pain, no gain, literally. Exactly, for sure. Yeah. So real quick, so if you're interested in a channeling session with somebody on the other side of the veil, like Joy was talking about, they are $40, and you can find my emails in the bio here or over on Scorpio Medium, and that's how you would set that up. You just send me an email and we can set that up. I am now officially starting Sunday, going back live Sunday through Wednesday between 7 and 8 o'clock Mountain Time. So that's when you'll find me there. I've also added my Venmo. Not something that I wanted to do because I don't like to ask that way, but my guide said I do offer a service, and I understand that. So if you do enjoy my content and you would like to donate to me, my Venmo is down in my bio. But I never ask anybody to donate if you really don't have it, please do not donate. But if you do enjoy my content and you would like to support me, that is available. And then one thing that I wanted to add, so I don't know if we're going to start next Thursday. Be on the lookout on my YouTube channel on Thursday nights for Real Talk with Jen, Renee and Jen. We're going to start doing that on Thursday nights over on my YouTube at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. We haven't discussed whether we're going to start next week or not. We just got her schedule and we're trying to get topics and all that figured out. So, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. You'll be there? Okay, awesome. And that's pretty much everything that I had, guys. Does anybody else have anything they want to add or need to get off their chest or vent about? How was everybody's day? It was extremely hot here today. Other than that, it was a good day for me. Anybody going once? Going twice? I don't know if all my comments are coming through, so oh, thank you, Veronica. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate all of you guys. So thank you all very, very much. Hot, come to Louisiana. I know you guys have humidity, because I would really like to move to Florida, but I've got to retrain myself to get used to the humidity. I've been in dry heat for, 21 years? So, yeah, thanks for the badge, Veronica. Thank you. So thank you all very much for the love. I appreciate you all so very, very much. All of it. If I didn't have you, I wouldn't have a community. And I will be back here on Sunday night usually between 7:30. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate it. You too. And on that note, I'm going to say I will see you on Sunday night until we meet again.